Hey everybody, it's Ziz here, and I am back from the Bless Online Emissary press event in San Francisco, where I got hands-on time with the game, the new combat system with combos. I got to ask a ton of questions to the developers, a lot of them from you on YouTube. We got a lot to go over, so let's go.
Now, we made it, bros. I don't know where to go. Look at this room.
Hey everybody, it is Friday morning, the day of the press event. I'm here in my hotel room. It looks like a giant bear got a hold of the bed. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty about combat and all the questions I asked, first thing I want to say is that it was an absolute pleasure and honor to meet every single one of these content creators. Without a doubt, all of them were a pleasure to be around. They're all wonderful, happy, excited people who are passionate about gaming. And we were there to enjoy and be excited about Bless and hope that it does as good as possible. And the same goes for the developers. They were all wonderful, happy, warm and inviting people who were just passionate about their project. And never once during this entire event did I feel like this was a business or sort of corporate event. They weren't trying to convince us of anything or get us to sell the product for us. They were just excited to show us what they've done in this great game they made. Now, we started off with a quick little 10-minute presentation, had some lunch, and then jumped right into gameplay. Now, the way they had the event set up was there was two groups of 5 computers, and those were grouped together so they could run dungeons. There was also a couple streaming computers, and then they had 5 computers that were just open like free roam, and they had a couple max level characters, and you could also make a new character as well. And that's what I hopped on. I got to play that for probably about an hour and a half of time. And let's just jump in right now and talk about combat, because I'm actually really excited about the combat and the combo system in Bless Online. That's one of the things that is always most important to me in MMOs. I know a lot of people love, PvE and the storyline. They love dungeons and questing, and a lot of crafters of you out there. The most important thing to me is the way combat feels. If that's fun and exciting, and because when I'm out PvPing, I want it to feel fun and visceral and responsive, and this definitely did. I only got to play, like I said, about an hour and a half, and sometimes your opinion can change, from an hour in to 10 hours in to 100 hours in, you can start to see different problems. But some games you can definitely tell right away when it doesn't feel right. And I hate to bring this one up because I know a lot of you love it, but one game that didn't feel great to me right off the bat was Elder Scrolls Online. It always just kind of felt a little slow and a little clunky, and you were kind of fighting the game all the time and animation canceling. It just wasn't fun to me. And Bless Online definitely is not like that. It is fast and responsive, and even though the combo system isn't technically hard to understand, like, it's not super complicated. Basically what it is your number 1 through 3 keys. When you hit, let's say you hit number 1, right, the combos pop up, and then you chain through those. So there's maybe 2 or 3 combos through that. So it's not super complicated, right? But it's interesting and it's fun and it keeps you thinking. And instead of just looking at a big, huge hotbar of 40 buttons and just saying, okay, I want to press, 9, and then I want to press Alt 7, and you know what I mean? Instead of just going straight to it, there's a little bit of thought process, a little bit of what do I want to set up? How do I want my combos to work? And it's fast paced. If you didn't know this, you can use your mouse to control the combos as well. So you start your combo with your keyboard. Let's say you press the number 2, and then instead of pressing R, T, and Y, you can use your mouse. So you press 2 and then like left, left, left on your mouse, or 3, right, 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 or the middle mouse button, which makes it very fast and engaging. And I really had a ton of fun, both on the mage when I started the new mage from level 1, and when I got on the max level paladin at 45. They were both very fun. So I am excited about the combat system. Also, the performance to me seemed very, very good. I got some of the specs for you guys just so you can compare. It was running an Intel 4790. That's an i7 processor, very good, but not brand new, and an NVIDIA 1080. Now, don't worry, you don't have to have a 1080 to play this game. A couple things. One is that all the graphics were completely maxed out. Also, from what I saw on the display, the monitor was running at 1440p, and remember, 1440p monitor is twice as demanding as a 1080p monitor. So you don't need a 1080, you don't need an i7 to run this game, because it was running perfect. it was running flawless. Now, as far as saying this is 10% better or 20% better than the Japanese version, there's no way for me to say that unless I had the same computer side by side in the exact same scenario. And for me to say whether or not you are going to think the performance is good, I can't answer that for you. I don't know what your computer system is, and I don't know what your expectations are, but I just know for me, I'm not concerned about performance for this game at all, and I'm really excited about the combat. Now, as far as the event itself, it wasn't perfect, and I don't want to say that it was. They did their very best, but there were a few blemishes, some little things. The introduction, the 10-minute presentation, they couldn't play some of the videos they wanted. There was nothing super important. They sent those videos to us afterwards, all the emissaries. And it was some pretty simple stuff, you know, some trailers. One shows some pets, you know, the pets that are in the game. One showed the old combat system versus the new one. So nothing super important, but it was unfortunate they couldn't play it for them. Also, they had a little bit of a problem. A bunch of the computers were all hooked into the same like power outlet for the hotel that we were at, and the breaker went off. So those computers went off on those guys a couple times while they were in the middle of a dungeon. Which is just unfortunate. You know, stuff like that happens. The two biggest things for me, which some people are saying is obvious, you know, obviously they're being deceptive, and that's not true. But the two things are, one, they didn't show the cash shop in game. I checked a couple times, they didn't have it. I don't know why. I asked them if it was in, and they said basically it just wasn't done. I don't know if they're changing the things in the cash shop versus the Japanese version, because they said it's mostly going to be cosmetic in the cash shop. There's cosmetic stuff, also some things like maybe XP boosts, right? So they're changing some stuff. Also, you know, they're changing it over into English, but that wasn't ready. And I feel like it really would have been nice if we had that available. Also, the second thing is the premium membership. If you didn't know, all of the Founders Editions come with either 30, 60, or 90 days of premium membership, but they didn't give us a solid firm understanding of what else is included in the premium membership. We don't know exactly how much it costs yet. We don't know exactly what's in it. I did get a little bit of clarification from one of the developers, said that there will be cosmetic items that will rotate. So maybe like every month or two, you know, your costume, you'll get a different costume than what you had before, or maybe a skin for like your pet, that sort of thing. Also, they said probably stuff like XP boost would be a part of that premium membership, but we didn't have the exact information. And when I asked again later what was part of that, they said they're still finalizing it. So I don't, my gut feeling on this isn't that they were trying to be deceptive. They're not trying to trick anyone, but they're really just waiting until it's 100% nailed down. Because, you know, if they put some information out there and then they had to change it later, that would always cause problems, right? That's never good. So I really wish they would have had that available. All right, so next up, we're going to talk about the dev Q&A we did. So the very first thing I asked them is, what is in the cash shop? And they talked about it for a little while, and they really said that they want it to just be cosmetic stuff, right? I mean, that was the biggest thing that's going to be in there, is cosmetic stuff. Now, we already know in the game, there are a lot of awesome pieces of armor already. There's a lot of really cool looking mounts and pets and stuff already. So we don't have to worry about there not being anything cool looking in the game, but that's what the cash shop is going to have. Tons of awesome looking cosmetics and costumes and stuff you can wear. They did say there will also be things like experience potions available as well. Now, if you don't know, the cash shop, you actually buy what's called Lumina, and you use money to pay for that. So I'm making up these numbers, but let's say you spend $10 and you get 1,000 Lumina, right? I just call it Lumina. You use that currency to buy stuff in the cash shop. There is also a way to earn that in game. So while you're playing in game, if you're doing a dungeon, you kill a boss, you're PvPing, right? Through PvP, you can earn tokens, and you can use those tokens, you can turn them into the cash shop and get that Lumina, right? That Lumina as well. So you can, in game, not even spending money, but in game, you can earn that cash off stuff. So that was really important. Again, they don't want any pay to win. It's mostly going to be just vanity items, costume stuff, things like that. Also, I asked about the performance issues, and we talked about it a little bit beforehand. It was great on my computer. And when I asked all the devs, they said they spent a lot of time, a lot of time trying to make it work better. And again, we won't know exactly until we play with a lot of people on screen, but that is something they said they spent a lot of time doing, working on, trying to make better for our version release. I asked about the PvP token. If you don't know, you can buy like a ticket in game, a token that makes you immune to PvP for like 20 minutes. and you can use it every hour. So if someone's ganking you or you're trying to get to a specific location and you keep getting killed, you can use that. While you're leveling up, you can buy that in-game really easy. It's super cheap. At max level, you buy that in the cash shop, and they said they will still have that. So it will be available in the cash shop to use that PvP immune option. But again, we can still buy it through that token system as well. Now, we don't know exactly how easy it is to earn those tokens. Some games have tried this sort of system in the past as well, and it's so difficult to earn the cash shop currency in game that it might as well not even be in there. You know what I mean? So technically, yes, it's in there, but it's so hard. We won't know the bless system until we get in and start playing, whether or not that's actually a viable way of playing it or not. But that PvP token to make you immune is in there as well. I asked about player trading, if you can trade player to player, and they said no, they're not going to allow that. I asked them why, and they said specifically because they don't want that black market stuff. Now, whether or not that works, I mean, I'm not privy to all of their back end servers to see all the analytics and how it does or doesn't help. You know what I mean? Obviously, most of you don't have that as well. You probably have your opinion whether it helps or not, but that's the reason why they're not allowing it. That's one of those things that I wish we did have available in game. I wish there was a better system that stopped all the black market trading and all that gold selling and stuff, but kept player to player trading. I wish we had that. I love player trading. It makes the world feel alive. It's quick, it's easy. You run up to somebody, a friend, a guildmate, whoever, hey, I'll trade you this. You're in the dungeon, you get an item, you can trade it, that sort of thing, but they said we won't have it. Also, another thing is the auction house. There are predetermined prices. So you get a sweet drop, you go to sell it on the auction house, you can't sell it for 1,000,000 gold. There are predetermined highs and lows to put it in. And again, this is one of those kind of restrictive things that you may not like, but they do it for a very specific reason because it helps combat inflation. You know what I mean? So over time, people sell this really rare item. They're the first one to get this rare item. They sell it for a ton of gold and then they're rich, and then inflation just keeps creeping up and up and up. And they do this to help try to combat that. I also asked specifically about the Warlock and the Siren, the race and class. And that is something they are still working on and they are going to have. And they very confidently said, we will have that next year. And then I asked if that's part of like an XP, expansion pack. And they said what they're going to try to do is every 3 months release to us some sort of big sort of content sort of patch, and that's going to be one of those sorts of things. So sometime next year we'll have that. Also, I asked the developers what about the assassin and the mystic, and they said they are still working on that. They're currently working on it all the time. They're not holding it back. They're not withholding it from us for any reason. They are working on it every day, day and night. As soon as they can get it available, they'll put it in the game. It just simply isn't available yet because they're changing it over to the new combat system. So we don't know exactly when that'll be, if it's a month, if it's 6 months, but they're going to do it as soon as possible to get both of those in. Now, if you've been on the internet looking at Bless stuff in the last couple of days, you may have seen some saltiness out there. I can't speak for other people. I didn't hear everybody else's conversation. I don't know what they asked the developers and what their answers were. I can only speak to what I heard and where I was at. So a couple things starting from the top down. The $200 package, some people are upset about. It comes with the $40 package with it, right? So the founder $40 package is the base game plus a 2-day head start, and the $200 package includes one of those in it. So it's really good if you want to buy that and give it away. That'll probably be the package I buy, and then I'll have a copy to give away to everybody. As far as what the emissaries are going to be getting, no one had ever told me anything. I never heard anything from any of the developers there. There was no communication, no email, no pamphlet, nothing. I've heard nothing as far as me or other emissaries getting a free package. There's been no communication to me on that. So as of now, I'm still assuming I'm buying a package like I always thought I was. If they give us a package, that's great and I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll try to give stuff away when I can, but I don't know anything else about that because I didn't hear it. It wasn't like a big like selling point, you know what I mean? As also this PvP cloak I've been hearing about. Supposedly that emissaries get this cloak that makes you immune to PvP. As far as I know, that was just a troll and a joke that started on Reddit and it got out of control. So I haven't heard anything about that. As far as I know, that's completely untrue. And then just to share with you guys, just complete transparency, just so you know exactly where I'm at and what happened. as far as the financial stuff. They didn't give me any money. There's no $1 million check in my inbox, right? They were very gracious enough. They paid for my plane ticket. Round trip was about $300 for me. They paid for the hotel. I saw $200. I don't know if that was the total for the 2 nights or for each night. I'm assuming maybe each night. It was a very nice hotel. And then they had lunch for us at the event. And then they also paid for dinner that night, which I'm very, very thankful. I appreciate it so much. I'm excited about this game. But there was nothing else in addition to that. So my goal is always to be transparent with you guys and try to give both sides of the story, but also being excited and happy and looking on the positive and, you know, on the bright side of things as well. And one thing, I mentioned this earlier, but this was I never once did anyone say, hey, try to get your subscribers to buy something, try to convince them to spend. Like, it was never about us promoting their game. It was never them trying to, you know, recruit us to mass market. You know what I mean? Like, they just wanted to show us their game, answer our questions, so we can share it with you guys. And so as far as the concerns I've heard, most of it is all just baloney. All right, ladies and gents, last but not least is talking about the giveaway that I want to do for you guys. I got a couple of things here from the event. One really awesome special thing, this hoodie, that I'm going to be giving away one big package. I want to give away a game package and then also all this awesome stuff that I got. This is stuff we got while we were at the event. So there's this really cool notebook that they gave us from NeoWiz. Also, this is a pack of pencils. You probably have pencils, but these are the sharpest pencils you've ever seen in your life. Also, they came with this power bank here. It's a Bless power bank for your phone to charge it. And the best of all is this Bless hoodie that I got. Boom. One of the developers gave me the Bless hoodie. These are the ones that they were wearing at the event. Boom, right there. It says Bless. And he even signed it right on the front there. He signed it. And I feel a little bit bad about giving it away because he gave it to me, but I swear to you, he gave it to me, he handed it to me, and then he said, oh, that's not gonna fit. And it won't. It would never fit me. I'm losing some weight, but even if I lose a bunch, this hoodie I don't think will ever fit me. And so I want to give it away to someone who it will hopefully fit. And I want to share this awesome stuff with you. I got to go experience this really awesome event, so I don't want to just hold it all to myself. I'm going to do this giveaway. Now, I'm going to do it on my Twitch the day of the 28th. On the release day, we are going to be playing Bless all day. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And I'm going to be giving this stuff away. This hoodie, all this stuff that I got at the event. Also, one of the game packages. So if you want to take part in that, go follow my Twitch. That's twitch.tv/itziz. Follow me there. I'm going to give it away on that channel. But to wrap up, you guys, I had such a great time meeting all the other emissaries, meeting the developers, playing the game. I love the combat. They answered so many questions. I do wish we had more information about the premium subscription and the cash shop, but that should be coming very, very soon. And so what it all boils down to is I am more excited for Bless now than I ever have been. I am cautiously optimistic about the pay to win stuff, but I'm that way with every game. And the way they present it to me is I feel very hopeful that we won't see any of that in the game. So I'm excited. I hope to see you out there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.